highlights. Legacy government to strengthen relations with Tunisia to promote economic youth development. Kano State Governor directs aid to declare assets. And Florentine Heathrow Airport experiences major power outage due to nearby fire. And in sports, coach Chile targets winning start as Super Eagles tackles Rwanda in 2026 World Cup qualifier. And now the details. I am Mike James. The Legacy government is committed to strengthening bilateral relationship with Tunisia to promote economic and youth development, socio-cultural ties, tourism, as well as political diplomacy, among other initiatives that will foster the growth of the state. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu said this when he received the ambassador of Tunisia to Nigeria, Mohsen Antit, who led a delegation to pay him a courtesy call at the Lagos House, Ikeja. He restated that the commitment of the state government to improve, deepen, and identify common areas of engagement for the promotion of commercial, economic, and cultural centers that can make Lagos a driving force in its exploits for the benefit of Lagosians. The governor said by deepening its ties with Tunisia, the Legacy government sought to create a mutually beneficial partnership that drives growth, development, and prosperity for the state and its people.
It won't be a problem at all as into exchanging, bilateral ties and understanding each other, especially on the cultural side, better. You've said it and you've explained it, over and over. No matter what it is, we're all the same African countries, and the earlier we begin to, appreciate one another and know that, we're stronger together and that we all can, first do businesses amongst ourselves.
Speaking earlier, Ambassador of Tunisia to Nigeria, Mohsen Antit, said the aim of the visit was to invite the governor for a remarkable program coming up in Tunis, strengthen bilateral relations with the state, and to further engage him on dealings that would guide the history towards a common future that would bring about a successful generation.
Economy, the symbol of finance, the symbol of multicultural society, of course, representing the whole country. This is to be taken into consideration in order to move ahead together dealing with our work. So we should work together, hand in hand, in order to be successful. So this is one thing.
And that was the Ambassador of Tunisia to Nigeria, Mohsen Antit. Legacy Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has sworn in 8 new permanent secretaries into the civil service. The new appointees are Mr. Olanrewaju Bajulaye, PS, Minister of Arts, Tourism and Culture, Dr. Mrs. Abiola Idowu, Health, Facility Monitoring and Accreditation, HEFAMA, Mrs. Aderisola Olanrewaju, Citizens Mediation Bureau, Mr. Tajuddin Alao, Minister of Finance, Mr. Wasiu Agbabiaka, Civil Service Commission, Architect Bolaoki, Urban Development, Ministry of Fiscal Planning, effective 19th of May, Mr. Adebayo Laika, Wealth Creation, while Mrs. Ajibike Onibanju will resume as PS, Women Affairs and Poverty Alleviation, after the retirement of the current PS in the ministry. Governor Sanwo-Olu congratulated the new permanent secretaries who, he said, were picked after a rigorous selection process to promote innovation and excellence in the state civil service. The governor urged them to maintain the highest standard of professionalism, be accountable, exhibit unwavering commitment to good governance, get feedbacks from the people, and ensure excellent service delivery to residents of the state in line with the themes plus agenda of his administration.
The rules demand not just technical things, but also a visionary leadership. You must be able to innovate, and you must have unwavering commitment to the ideals of good governance at all times. So as you assume your responsibilities today, I urge you to embrace our administration's developmental agenda with a renewed vigor, and it continues to serve as a guiding light on the blueprint for delivering a sustainable development and prosperity. prosperity for all Lagosians.
The state head of service, Bode Aguru, stated that the appointment of the new permanent secretaries is born out of the need to revitalize the state's policy implementation apparatus for effective service delivery to residents.
I want to admonish you to ensure that you maintain good standing and relationship with the political head of your agency or ministry and all the staff of the respective ministries that you will be deployed to. This will enable you speedily attain your mandate.
In a vote of assurance on behalf of the new permanent secretaries, Mrs. Aderisola Olariwaju appreciated Governor Sanwo-Olu for finding them worthy to serve in the best public service, pledging their commitment towards ensuring the realization of the Themes Plus agenda.
We promise that we love among each other that we take this oath and keep the oath to the letter as we have just been sworn. We promise that we will do our best in the realization of this administration's Things Plus agenda towards moving Lagos State forward.
Our correspondent, Adjola Akindele, reports that so far, the Sanwo-Olu administration has sworn in 111 permanent secretaries since inception. The Office of Education Quality Assurance, OEQA, under the Lagos State Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education, has engaged key stakeholders in the state education sector to develop an academic calendar for the 2025-2026 session that reflects the views and expectations of all major players. During a preliminary stakeholders meeting, the Supervisor and Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education, Sheson Ogundeko, addressed the major education stakeholders, emphasizing the state government's commitment to an effective and structured academic calendar. The Permanent Secretary, who was represented by Director Basic Education Services Department, Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education, Abosedi Adumasi, reassured stakeholders that the final academic calendar would be designed to support academic excellence, students' well-being, and holistic learner development across Lagos State. He reiterated the government's dedication to an inclusive decision-making process, stating that feedback from stakeholders would shape a sustainable academic structure that enhances learning outcomes. In his address, the coordinating director of OEQA, Remy Abdul, stressed the importance of collaboration in designing an academic calendar that ensures efficiency and stability in Lagos State schools. He acknowledged the commitment of education stakeholders and clarified that the meeting was meant to gather insight, analyze perspectives, and develop strategic options not to finalize the academic calendar. Attendees included representatives from Lagos State Universal Basic Education Board, LASIBEB, Nigeria Union of Teachers, NUT, All Nigeria Confederation of Principals and Secondary Schools, and COPS, Association of Primary School Head Teachers of Nigeria, public and private school representatives, parent-teacher associations, examination bodies, and education administrators. And now, to the rest of the stories. Kano State Governor Abba Yusuf has instructed all his political appointees to declare their assets. Yusuf gave the directive during an iftar with heads of government agencies and special advisors at the Government House, Kano. The governor said that 60 to 70% of the appointees are yet to comply with the Code of Conduct rules. He urged them to promptly obtain, complete, and submit the necessary forms to ensure compliance with the law. Yusuf also addressed special advisors on the importance of providing counsel and submitting reports on governance matters. He encouraged them to actively monitor government affairs and offer advice, whether positive or negative. The Nigerian Defense Academy (NDA) has urged residents of Afaka, Mandu, and Kauya in Kaduna State not to panic when its inter-battalion obstacles crossing competition for NDA cadets is held on Saturday. Academic Public Relations Officer Muhammad Maidawa stated this in Kaduna. According to him, the competition is a combat fitness activity specifically designed to test and enhance the cadets' abilities to navigate and maneuver through battlefield obstacles. And in some foreign news, Heathrow Airport will be closed all day after a fire at a nearby electrical substation that supplies it with power. Heathrow, Europe's busiest airport, warns of significant disruption over the coming days and tells passengers not to travel under any circumstances until it reopens. At least 1,351 flights to and from the airport in West London could be cancelled today. The implications will stretch far wider than Heathrow and could impact flights much further afield. The fire at the substation in Hayes has left more than 4,900 homes without power, and 150 people were evacuated from surrounding properties. The cause of the fire is not yet known. And over to sports news. Eric Chelle will look to begin his reign in charge of the Super Eagles on a winning note as the Malian leads the Super Eagles for the first time in a 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifier against Amavubi of Rwanda at the Amahoro Stadium, Kigali today. Chelle was appointed head coach of the three-time African champions in January. The Super Eagles set up camp in Kigali for the crucial game on Monday. The team had 3 training sessions before the game, and the players are ready for action. And tonight's encounter is a must-win for the Super Eagles, going by the team's position at the Group C table. Nigeria occupies 5th position with 3 points from 4 games. The game will kick off at 5 p.m. Nigerian time. That was our news at 12. Just before we go, stay alive. Make use of pedestrian bridges where available. You can follow us and like all our various social media platforms: X, Traffic Radio 961, Facebook, Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM, Instagram, Lagos Traffic Radio 961. Subscribe and watch our news and programs. It's live on YouTube, Traffic Radio 961. You can also visit our website, www.trafficradio961.ng. Did you know that the Sanwo-Olu administration empowered over 1,000 residents at the 3rd phase of the Mega Empowerment Program? Well, you can get more details on the Lagos State Government website. And to end the news, here are the highlights of the major stories. The Lagos State Government is committed to strengthening bilateral relations with Tunisia to promote economic and youth development, socio-cultural ties, tourism, as well as political diplomacy, among other initiatives that will foster the growth of the state. Kano State Governor Abba Yusuf has instructed all his political appointees to declare their assets. We also told you that Heathrow Airport will be closed all day after a fire at a nearby electrical substation that supplies it with power. And in sports, Eric Chelle will look to begin his reign in charge of the Super Eagles on a winning note, as the Malian head leads the Super Eagles for the first time in a 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifier against the Amavubi of Rwanda at the Amahoro Stadium, Kigali today. And for contact with the newsroom, send a message to info@trafficradio961.ng. That ends the news broadcast compiled by Kayode Mafalasheri. Thank you for listening, Lagos. My name is Mike James. Good afternoon to you.